guys, Willie here with W.T.F Car Reviews, and today we're reviewing the all-new 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor.
And a big thanks to Chris and the rest of the management and staff here at AutoNation Ford in Brooksville, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Brooksville, Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And as for Chris.
And for those of you guys who don't know, Ford released the all-new 5th generation midsize Ranger this year for 2024. Adding not only a more aggressive exterior styling and updated tech with interior layout, but also 2 new available power plants, a 2.7-liter twin-turbo V6 and a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 that we have here for this also all-new Ranger Raptor. Sitting 4.3 inches wider than a regular Raptor with 2.5-inch Fox shocks, more advanced axles, roll bars up front with coil springs supporting the Fox shocks. Finally, the 2024 Ranger Raptor gets these beefy BF Goodrich K03s, which not only look sick, but also help out with the off-road capability of this Ranger tremendously. With a base price around $56,000, what else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So bold and aggressive front styling, large Ford lettering, forward-facing camera, full LED headlamps, black headlight housing, LED turn signals, dual projectors for the high and low beam, LED daytime running light, LED fog light, full front parking sensing, tow hooks, with a pretty large skid plate up front as well. Hope you can pick it all up on camera. The wheel and tire setup, we'll take a step over here to the side. As you mentioned, we get these 33-inch BF Goodrich K03 all-terrains. The actual dimensions being 285/70 R17s with a 6-lug pattern, Ford center cap, and a pretty large dual piston front brake caliper. We get some plastic cladding for the fender area. We'll take a little feel real quick. Yep, just plastic. We get these running boards on the side, which help you step in a little bit. They're not too low, so it doesn't compromise too much your ground clearance, but it still helps you out nevertheless. It says Raptor on the running board. We get smart access for the driver and a front passenger, an additional camera on the mirror to help us out with 360, LED turn signal on the mirror. The glass fills up the entire frame with blind spot monitoring on the glass. All black trim for the window trim. We'll take a step back. Hopefully you can pick up the side profile of this 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. Out rear, we get the same rear wheel and tire setup. We'll take a quick look at the suspension. As you mentioned, no leaf springs. We get coil springs surrounding the 2.5-inch Fox shocks, and we'll see how the ride quality is once we take it out for a drive. The gas cap is push to open with easy fill. You can throw 87 octane fuel here for this 3-liter twin-turbo V6. Raptor lettering in the upper right corner of the fender bed area, full LED taillights, turn signals, and reverse lights. Ford logo in the center of the tailgate, Ranger etched into the tailgate with Raptor lettering in the upper right corner. Trailer hitch, I'll leave a link right here, show you exactly what this truck can tow. Tow straps in each corner, dual exhaust tips. Before we check out this bed area, let's take a quick look at this window sticker and see everything we get on the 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. All right guys, so hopefully you can pause, take a look at all the standard features in the 2024 Ranger Raptor with the shadow black exterior, ebony leather trimmed seats. Again, pause, take a look, with a base price of $55,470. Options here, $130 for the splash guards and mud flaps, $70 for the wheel locks, and a $1,595 destination charge, totaling us out a tick over $57,000. Fuel economy with these massive 33s, we're going to be getting around 17 mpg, 16 in the city, 18 in the highway. Not the best, and we are getting up there in price, but considering we've reviewed a couple Toyota Tacomas recently on this channel with some pretty serious markups, totaling that truck to like $63,000, $64,000. So considering that this Ranger Raptor is competitive with a way less capable, way less spec'd Tacoma, this is a pretty surprising value with the way the midsize truck segment has been going. We can take a quick look at this bed area, pull the latch, it is damped. We get some tie downs on the actual tailgate with 3 additional on each side for the top part of the bed. Unfortunately, no bed liner. I do like how Ford gives us these little cup holder slots with a ruler, so if you're on the job site, you have a pretty good idea of everything's size. We get a 12-volt in here too, with an AC outlet right next to it. The third brake light's not LED, but doesn't really matter. It still does its job. We get LED box lighting. The only thing I wish we had here for the price point is a spray and bed liner, but you can go to Line-X, get that done for about $600. Very easy process lifting the tailgate back up. We mentioned the dual exhaust tips though. Let's fire up this 3-liter twin-turbo V6 and hear how she sounds. Alright guys, that was the sound of the 3-liter twin-turbo V6 sold by Ford for the 2024 Ranger Raptor, and it sounds pretty good, cranking out 405 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque. With 4-wheel drive, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. You can expect 0 to 60 in the low 5-second range, making it a no-joke performer, especially considering this thing has a curb weight of over 5,200 pounds. But as you see, there's plenty of room to work around, so this motor, although it's powerful, it doesn't take up as much space as, say, if this thing had the 5-liter V8, while making very similar overall power. The battery in the driver's side, maybe not the best for weight balance, but what you see is basically what we get. Kind of wish we had a cold air intake of some sorts to help out with the induction noise, but as you'll see once you take it out for a drive, this thing does have a pretty solid induction note. No hydraulic struts though. For this price point, the struts would be appreciated, but you can add that in the aftermarket, and it does take quite a bit of effort to shut this hood down. But we can take a step inside, see what we get with around a $55,000, $56,000 price point, $57,000 after destination. And I'll tell you right now from the start, this is a surprisingly good value considering the trucks that I've been reviewing with Toyota lately. Up top we get this marine grade vinyl, which feels like a suede Alcantara with stitching, 3-person memory seats, some faux carbon fiber in the center, soft touch in the actual center of the door panel with gushy soft leatherette armrests. We get 4-window auto on touch, power folding mirrors, 4-way adjustable mirrors, F-150 style door handle, solid amount of storage down below. You'll stack 2 footlongs on top of each other with a 12 to 16 ounce bottle right next to it. We get a Ford Performance nameplate. We mentioned the Raptor running board. The seats are really well bolstered, Raptor specific seats with some red contrast stitching and red accents with some suede Alcantara or microfiber in the inserts. Steering wheel is also aggressive. We'll check that out in 1 second. Unfortunately, no aluminum outline pedals, but if that's my only complaint with this interior, this is still a really impressive performance mid-sized truck. But foot brake, engine start stop, and everything fires right to life. But first thing we notice, the steering, as we mentioned, it's aggressive with this orange red notch in the upper center, so you know where the center of the wheel is at all times. Red contrast stitching, fat 10 and 2, fat rim in general, 9 and 3 fits perfect in your hands. The horn area is hard plastic. The horn itself, really loud and aggressive. We'll do a window check, see if we get dual panes. No dual panes, but it's a pretty thick single pane of glass. The steering wheel has 3 spokes on the bottom, Raptor etched for the 6 o'clock spoke, radar cruise control on the left side, volume adjustments with voice commands, lane keep assist as well. On the right side we have our steering adjustments, suspension adjustments, and our active exhaust adjustments. This is normal mode, sport mode. You hear it does get a little bit louder. Baja mode does sound a little bit more aggressive, and quiet mode, you don't even hear anything at all. Normal, a little bit more, but sport and Baja definitely sound the coolest. We also get our skip controls and R mode. The R mode allows us to configure our own individual settings. So if you want normal engine, heavy steering, and light suspension, you can adjust it exactly how you would like it. The paddle shifters are massive. They just feel like a plastic material, but they also have a really high quality plastic feel to them. The steering has a really, really good weight to it. We can adjust the steering weight between normal, comfort. Comfort lightens it up a little bit, but yeah, even in comfort, definitely has a very solid heft. And in sport mode, really, really solid heft. Big thumbs up to Ford. The stocks have a satisfying click. We get auto rain sensing wipers. That's an appreciated feature. Auto headlamps and auto high beams with fog lights. Interior brightness. We get our bed light as well. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera. I'm sorry about the camera angle. Get the interior lighting and bed lighting. Hopefully get a good look at the pedals, tilt and telescoping steering wheel. The dashboard is hard plastic for the frame, but we get more of that stitched marine grade vinyl for the center of it. We get the Bang & Olufsen sound system here too, and it sounds really, really good. Ford's 12-inch vertical display. It's an excellent display. Reminds me a lot of what I would get from the Ram. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, towing, radio, phone, navigation, and media. The navigation screen, let's check it out. The resolution is very good. The response is excellent. Big thumbs up to Ford for their new sync system. We don't get ventilated seats at this price point. I would like to see ventilated seats, but that's really one of the only features that we're omitting here on this pretty base Ranger Raptor. And the adjustments for the heated seats and heated steering wheel are through the touchscreen, but we still get hard buttons for the temperature adjustment and the vent adjustment, so I guess thumbs up to Ford for that. Hazards, stitching for your knee will often hit, wireless phone charging pad with some storage right next to it. The gear selector controls the 10-speed automatic transmission. Backup camera, you gotta press this front button. pull it back one time, and the backup camera, because it's a vertical display, it doesn't take up the entire screen, but we still get guidance lines and trajectory with an over-the-top 360 underneath. You can turn off the parking sensors too for one reason or another. You can also adjust different views. You see a parking sensing view, full rear view, over-the-top trailer hitch view, and an actual trailer side view, or you can just use it as a little meter so you don't scuff up these beautiful 17-inch wheels and tires. But throwing it right back into park, it returns us right back to our previous screen. Electronic parking brake, auto parking, turn off the traction control, auto engine start stop will disable for this review. You can press this button behind it all and it activates a forward-facing camera with guidance lines and trajectory. BMW would call this like car wash mode, but here for Ford, it lets you see exactly what's in front of your front bumper if you're on a trail and don't want to mess up your brand new Ranger Raptor. You get locking front and rear differentials, beefy 50 PSI tires. You can also turn on like the trail control speed. It functions as an off-road cruise control setting. We're not going to lock any of the differentials, of course. You can also check out the pitch and roll if that's what you prefer to look at once it loads up. There you go. But we can press this button one more time and it returns us right back to the previous screen. Our drive mode selector to the right of it. Our drive modes include normal, sport, tow haul, slippery, off-road, Baja, and rock crawl. We'll start the review off in normal, try out sport, and just see what the differences are. Hopefully pick that up on camera. With 2 high, 4 low, and 4-wheel drive auto. That's nice to see on the Ranger Raptor. Gushy soft armrest, one of the softest armrests that I felt. Space is also solid. You'll fit 10 to 12 12-ounce bottles in there with an additional 12-volt back here too. Hopefully you pick that up as well. Check out the glove box. We have 2 tiers of technical glove box space. This area you'll fit 5 or 6 pairs of socks. This top tier you'll fit an additional 4 or 5 pairs of socks. It's nice to see for a mid-sized truck. In this bottom tier, which isn't damp but decently spacious, you'll fit about 20 license plates in there. We don't get a frameless rear view mirror, but it is auto dimming. You get 3 garage home link settings on the visor, 6 auxiliary switches, sunglass holder, interior lights are LED, 5th opening window, which opens up super quickly with our overall light adjustments right in front of it. That's about it though, guys, for the front seat of this 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. Let's hop out back, see how much space is offered back there, and then take this 2024 Ranger Raptor out for a drive. So up top, just hard plastic to be expected. The center portion is still gushy soft faux leather with a gushy soft armrest, F-150 style door handle, auto one-touch window, stitching for your knee will often hit. With a solid amount of storage, you'll stack 2 6-inch subs on top of each other with a big gulp in front of it. Additional one of your Bang & Olufsen speakers. The floor mats are a little bit in the way, so it'll be tough for you guys to really check all of this out. But we get the same material as up front for the seats, that Alcantara microfiber stitched leather trim. It's not quite as bolstered, but still very, very comfortable. You can lift the seats up with a latch. It's not the easiest process because of the floor mats, but as you see, pretty solid amount of storage, and you can drop these seats down as well. Here you have your subwoofer for the Bang & Olufsen system and your fix-it-flat jack and funnel to the left. Putting that right back where we had it. The legroom, I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, sitting behind my seat settings, and I still have about 2 inches of knee room. Headroom, I have about an inch, inch and a half. So if you're under 6'4", 6'5", you should be able to sit behind your seat settings with no problem. Any taller, you'll probably want to sit behind the passenger and have them compromise a little bit of space. You get mat pockets behind both of the front seats, a little storage pocket. Unfortunately, no air vents, at least nothing that blows directly into your face in the back of the Ranger Raptor. That I would like to see. There is something going on under the front seats, and I can easily feel the vents from the front, but again, nothing that blows directly into your face with a base price over $55,000. The interior lights back here are LED, and beneath this little storage pocket, we get a USB-C port and an additional 120-volt, 400-watt AC outlet. That's about it though, guys, for the back seat. We get grab handles with a hook for both of the rear seat passengers and a center cubby that we can access 2 cup holders and a nice gushy soft area for your arm. That's about it though, guys, for the inside and outside of this all new 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. It is a really nice mid-sized truck. So far from what I've reviewed in this channel, this might be my favorite mid-sized truck. I used to love the GMC AT4X from the Canyon, but this is a significantly faster power plant. I believe Car and Driver tested the AT4X to 60 in the high 6-second range. This is the low 5s. We're talking about almost a 2-second difference. And speaking of that, let's take this 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. My first impressions, though, the steering is seriously beefy. We can see what mode we're currently in. We're in sport, but even in normal mode, this is a seriously beefy steering rack. We'll start it off in normal mode. I'm also noticing that the ride quality is very soft with these monster 33-inch tires. And that Raptor right there, F-150, hopefully we'll be reviewing that shortly, has 35-inch tires, so we're talking about even better overall ride quality. But normal mode, taking a step out here, good throttle response on about half throttle. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, guys, this thing is really quick. As far as drive modes, we are currently in normal. The exhaust right now is in Baja mode, throwing it into quiet mode for the exhaust. Wow, it seriously quiets down. And for tires this massive, you don't even hear them when you're cruising along. The brakes feel good. Try out these paddles. Snappy. Nice rev match downshift. Whew, and that's all in quiet mode. You throw it into the Baja sport mode, it's just going to sound a lot cooler. Alright guys, we could try out a real world turning radius. Everything's in sport now. That throttle response felt aggressive. This steering feels super beefy. Turning radius is good. On the gas. Woo! Yeah, this thing can rip. It feels a little bit slower than the Explorer ST reviewed in this channel. Feels about the same as the Bronco Raptor. Maybe actually a tad quicker than the Bronco Raptor. In sport, really aggressive rev match downshifts. We can try out these paddle shifters, second gear on the gas. Snappy. Whew. It doesn't blow you away when it comes to speed, but it definitely gets out of its own way with no problem. I'll be interested to see how the 2.7 feels without these massive tires. It might not feel a whole lot slower than this 3-liter twin turbo. I wish they let us put this 3-liter twin turbo in all trims, but at the end of the day, I could definitely see why they didn't. And in sport mode and with everything in its most aggressive modes, we'll throw it into its overdrive gear. Still really good throttle response even in the overdrive gear. And with the suspension in sport, steering in sport, engine in sport, it's still reasonably quiet in here. And it's still really comfortable when it comes to ride quality. If you don't like the loopy feel of a lot of pickup trucks, you will want to leave this suspension in sport at all times because you're still getting excellent ride quality, but you're also getting excellent response, feedback through the steering, and overall damping through the suspension. And we get the adaptive valve Fox suspension here again, so you really feel the difference between the different drive modes. A couple more pulls, try it out in like 5th gear, about half throttle. Boost, really good power, and you can hear that blow off once you let off the gas. We can throw it in over here, test out the handling a little bit. Brakes feel good. And throwing it in, good handling in sport mode. Whew, steps out a little bit. That's light throttle, it pulls strong. And it handles well, especially in sport mode. If I was driving a Ranger Raptor, I'm leaving the steering in sport and I'm leaving the suspension in sport at all times. The exhaust, if you don't like loud exhaust, throw it in quiet. It's not going to really change any of the dynamics. But I'm telling you, take one of these out for a drive, especially if you are testing out a Tacoma, TRD, anything. Definitely encourage testing one of these out for a drive. You're looking at a similar overall price point while getting quite literally double the truck. This thing is seriously impressive. Without a doubt, in my opinion, the best mid-size truck out on the road today. We'll throw it all back into its most relaxed mode, suspension in normal, steering in comfort, and drive mode in normal, and then wrap things up. Alright guys, taking a step out here in the fully relaxed mode, steering gets a lot lighter. Throttle response is still good, about 3rd throttle. Yeah, not bad. And you can still hear a decent grunt with this 3-liter twin turbo, even in its most relaxed exhaust mode. And just cruising along. Yeah, even in comfort mode, the steering has a solid heft to it. Ford really knocked it out of the park with this all-new 2024 Ranger Raptor. You can tell they put a lot of effort into this vehicle. There are a lot of vehicles all throughout every manufacturer's lineup that you can tell they're just reselling it over and over, carried over from the next year just to keep numbers up on the board. That's not the case here. The Ford Performance Development team absolutely put their time and effort into this Ranger Raptor. They addressed absolutely every aspect when it comes to driving experience. If you guys have seen my Bronco Raptor reviews, that's a really good performance SUV, but there's something that they did not address, and that's wind noise. You cannot drive that thing at high speeds without hearing convertible levels of wind noise. And I'm not talking convertible up levels of wind noise, I'm talking convertible down. This Ranger is quiet, it is quick, and it feels expensive when you drive it, all for a base price around $55,000, which again, it's getting up there in price, but compared to the Toyota Tacomas that we're seeing, TRD Sports, TRD Off-Roads, with 2-wheel drive running around $63,000, $64,000, you're getting a very solid truck here with a competitive base price. If that's what you're looking for, guys, I would 1000% recommend checking out the 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. And big thanks to AutoNation Ford in Brooksville, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to their inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Brooksville area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Chris. And a huge thanks to all you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too, it really helps me out, the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment, let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment, let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you'd like to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.